Hey guys, this is the Minister of Beauty and thank you so much for joining me for another video. This is Beauty Wednesdays with the Minister of Beauty, and I wanted to do this video because I feel like it can help somebody else. I have been dealing with this issue for honestly at least a couple of years now, as far as I could tell the difference, but I just held off and waited because I didn't feel bad. It just was uncomfortable. It wasn't painful. And I had been told some things about the breast augmentation procedure that I was just thinking, well, because of the timing and when I had it done, I would just wait and hold off, and then I'll just get the whole thing done over again. So basically what it is that I got a breast lift and an augmentation, which is breast implants. For those who don't know what augmentation means, augment means to add to add something to something to make it greater or bigger. In my situation, it wasn't something that I wanted to have done, and I waited and I put it off for many years. Okay, so basically I'll just kind of go to the past and then I'll bring you guys back up to the present, and then I'll just share with you like what things look like now, and then I'll share the after process, and then after some time then I'll probably do an update in terms of the healing. I'm not taking anything off, so things are going to be covered up, so that it's going to be friendly, and I won't say family friendly, just keep it for the 18 and up crowd. If you have family members that this can help out, because when it happened to me, I was young. So pretty much the way it is that I had a child when I was a teenager, and I didn't know anything about the body and how things change. I didn't know that having a body, it was going to make me get stretch marks. And to be honest with you, at that time, that was the big thing for me, because I didn't have stretch marks while I was growing, and while I was expecting. I got stretch marks after I gave birth, and I was like, what the F? Like, what is going on with my body? And I was like a week before my 16th birthday. So I was really young, and my mom was not happy with the fact that I was having a kid. So the last thing she was going to do was tell me about putting cocoa butter or different things on my belly and my body parts to help keep my skin moisturized and taut, so that it would prevent situations like that. So basically, not only did I get the stretch marks, but my breasts, which were already pretty large for my size, especially because I'm a smaller frame person, but once I hit puberty, my breasts grew, and they weren't oversized, but for somebody my size, they weren't exactly seen as really small. They were, an average bigger size. And you guys can see some of the before pictures. They were, I consider a larger size, about C cup. And when I had my son, my breasts, not immediately, but over time, because I didn't breastfeed either, my breasts just started to go south for the winter, and they were just having a good time in the South and just decided, you know what, we think we're going to retire here. We're just going to stay in the South. We're not coming back up north. And so, yeah, it was a trip. And so I wanted to get my breast corrected, but I just did not do anything over time, because one, I never made myself a priority. It was all about my family. It was about our son. It was about my husband. It was about working in our household. So back then, I started to see those things as superficial, so I didn't really look into getting anything done for myself to make myself feel better. Well, as our son started to get older, he was in his, I guess, younger teen ages, I started to go and get consultations, and I didn't like what I was hearing, because I just felt like I just need a lift, just lift them up. But the consultations that I was having, pretty much everyone agreed different doctors I saw, they didn't work in the same offices. I mean, these were the professional opinions of different plastic surgeons that I met with, and they all pretty much said in order to keep the shape, because they've been stretched out, you are going to have to get implants. It's not going to do you any justice if you just have a breast lift, which the professional term for that is a mastopexy. So if you just get the mastopexy and you don't get the breast augmentation, it's not going to do you justice. So we recommend that you get the implants along with the lift, and that will suit you just fine. And I didn't want to do it, so I just put it off, and I never got around to doing it. So circling around to 2010, I just said, you know what, this is my year. Because at that time, I was going to be 32 that year. I had been in my business that I created in 2008. Things were starting to go really well. I started to feel, better about myself, and said, you know what, I want to do something for me. And I think I'm going to go and get another consultation and just move forward with it this time. So I did. I got the consultation. Same things that were said to me before was what was being said to me many years later. Our son was older. And so I just said, you know what? I think I'm going to go for it this time and not feel like I'm being judged, because that was another thing too. I was also feeling in myself that, well, if I get implants, then people are going to judge me and think that I'm trying to be fake. And not that it matters what other people think about you, but being somebody who I just am who I am, being somebody who's pretty much introverted, and I'm always considering the feelings of other people or how other people may think about me, even if it does not physically affect me. It's just a thought that's constantly there. But I just started to get to the point, as you get older, the older you get, the less you really care about what other people think. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and get this done. So I got the mastopexy and the breast implants, and I was really happy with the procedure. It didn't make me look like I was any bigger than what I already was. So it wasn't like I got all of these reactions and being noticed like, oh, did you get a boob job? Did you get a breast job? None of that. It was just regular for me, because when I would wear a bra before, of course, like I said, the breast had went south, but when you put the bra on, you just kind of stuff them in there and strap it on. And, with the clothes on, nobody really knows what you're looking like. And I wasn't walking around showing off what I had. And so I wasn't going to do that after either. So things didn't really look any different on the outside with people just seeing me wearing my clothes. But underneath, I felt amazing. I felt great. There were times where I didn't even want to wear a bra, because I was like, well, I paid all this money to get the boobs lifted. Why do I even have to put a bra on for them to stay up? After having the procedure done, I had heard this, and even the surgeon that did my procedure told me that when you get implants, typically every 10 years, you need to get them redone. So you probably want to prepare yourself that in 10 years that you'll need to get another breast augmentation to remove the old implants and put in new implants. Well, I had my procedure done in 2010. By the time I had my procedure done in 2010, breast implants had been so far beyond the technology of what they were in the very beginning, when this was something that was pretty new, like maybe back in like the, late 70s or early 80s. So things were much different back then than what they are now and what they were when I had my procedure done in 2010. But because the surgeon told me that, I was just thinking, well, that's something that I'm going to have to do. So I'll prepare myself for that. Well, over a couple of years' time, in the last couple of years, I should say, my left breast just started feeling a little bit different than my right. Now, it's not painful, but it's something that's noticeable, where I would see myself or feel myself correcting the side of my breast with my arm, because it felt like it was just kind of jutting out a little bit, going towards the armpit. And so having that feeling, although like I said, it wasn't painful, but it was just something that I noticed. I remembered what the surgeon told me. I said, okay, well, I had my procedure done in 2010. So in 2020, I'll get myself prepared to get them redone. Well, as you know, 2020 has been a crazy year. None of us could have predicted what's been going on. So with all of the things that were going on with the pandemic, businesses shutting down, I had to consider what to do with my business. So I was dealing with changes in my business, closures in my business, and staff layoffs and different things like that. And then other businesses, such as what I was going to need to have done, procedures such as the one like I felt like I was going to need to have done, those weren't able to be done in a lot of places because of COVID-19. So I wasn't even thinking about getting in with a surgeon for a consultation to see what needed to be done. Nothing against the last surgeon that I went to, but he was nice in the beginning, but I didn't really care for his bedside manner because I had another procedure done with him. I actually had my, I had the bump that I had on my nose, and I had extra collagen in my nose area. So I did have a rhinoplasty done. So he did that as well. I didn't care for his bedside manner when he was doing that because I had to have the stitches taken out, and it was really uncomfortable, but I didn't like the way that he was speaking to me. And when it comes to a procedure where somebody's working with your body and you feel like they're making you uncomfortable, not in a sexual uncomfortable way, especially I wouldn't go to somebody who was speaking like that. But if you're not showing care and compassion and you're being short-tempered and things like that, I'm not going to go back to you again. And I'd already spent my money. So what was done was already done. So I already knew I wasn't going to go back to that same surgeon for this procedure. I went and had a consultation with the surgeon who did my abdominoplasty. I did have a tummy tuck. Now, if you guys have not seen that video, I'll try to put a link to that in the description box. And I've had so many comments on that video, and a lot of people say that it helped them out so much, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. I'm not just doing this video just to show my breasts off, but I'm hoping it can help someone. So getting to the point of why I'm having a procedure done with my breasts. I went and had the consultation when things were able to pick back up after closures and different things. And I got into a consultation in July with the surgeon. He was very happy to see that everything was going well with my abdominoplasty. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, haven't had to because things have been really well with that. But, you know, he says, oh, well, you're here to get a procedure done with your breasts. What do you want to do? You want to go bigger? And I said, no. I am having some issues with one of my breasts, and it's been 10 years now, and I know you're supposed to get your implants redone every 10 years, so that's why I'm here. And he said, well, one, that was old guard news, but in this new era, having to have your breast implants redone every 10 years, that's not something that you have to do. That was a huge check mark for me because one, it's not like I want to go under the knife and get that procedure done all over again. But if I had to do it, then I was going to do it. And also, he could have just very well said, yeah, you're right. You do have to get those redone every 10 years. So let's go ahead and get you signed up for that. He wasn't just there to take my money. So that was a huge check mark for me as well. But he said, let's do an inspection because I was telling him about the issue I was having with my left breast. And I said, I don't know if it's just scar tissue that's built up. I'm, of course, not an expert and I'm not a surgeon, but I feel like it's possibly scar tissue. And I'm willing to do what we need to do that's medically necessary. So after he goes over all of the details about all of the different types of breast implants that are out now, and the type that I have, it is the silicone. I don't know why I was about to say collagen. I do have the silicone implants, which they're a very natural feeling implant. He said that the type that I have, they're like top of the line and they should be, you know, fine. There haven't been any recalls on them over the years or, you know, anything like that. So you should be completely fine where that is involved. But let's just go into the exam room and we'll check them out. So once he did the inspection, he said, yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about right now. And that actually is something that's pretty simple to do. And it's an, you know, it's an in-office procedure, but outpatient. You are just going to need to be out for a day. It'll be a couple of weeks time for healing. But, you know, after that, still take it easy if you can, but there won't be any, you know, big issues. Just try to take it easy, but you can go back to work the next day. And it's called a capsulotomy. So basically what I have is a capsular contraction. And what it is scar tissue that's formed around the implant. And it doesn't happen all the time. He said it happens in about 10% of patients. Out of 100% of the patients, it happens in about 10% of them. So I am in a very small category, but I know, you know, I guess I'm pretty special because it happened to me. But I'm thankful it's not a health issue. It can be removed and everything can be cleaned out and stitched back up, and then I'll be good to go. There won't be any drains involved. It'll just be some stitches that are dissolvable. They don't have to be taken out. Some pads for any type of maybe bleeding or spotting, you know, from the stitches, but nothing that is too crazy. Not like when I had the abdominoplasty. Now that was something to behold because I had a drain and I had to have myself wrapped up and just a lot of stuff. It was a bit much, and I couldn't lay down flat, and it was just a lot. It was worth it, and I'm glad that I did it, but this is definitely a bit different. So I'm just going to show you guys. I have my bra on, not taking anything off, but okay. So if you see, just trying to show you over here, and I'll try to slide up a little bit. It's just, you know, the curvature of my breast there, and you know, that's my armpit, and you can see that, and from the front it's like that. Well, this one, you see how it's bulky on that side there? That's not the implant. That is scar tissue that has built up around the implant, and it's like, you see how I'm like using my arm to kind of self-correct because I feel like it's pushing underneath my armpit a little bit, and you know, more over to the side. So you see the difference with this one versus this one. So it makes this one look a little bit bigger. They're both the same size, but the scar tissue has built up in there, so it's making this one seem like it's bigger than this one. And guys, I'm really going here with you all because I'm not comfortable doing this, but I'm really only doing this because I'm hopeful that it will help somebody else, where you may feel like you got a breast lift done, or breast lift and breast augmentation done, and you think that the surgeon didn't do a good job. You think maybe one breast is bigger than the other. And guys, our bodies are not asymmetrical anyway, so you may have limbs that are naturally longer on one side than the other side of your body. You may have more brows on one brow than the other brow. You may have an eye that's a little bit off than the other. Honestly, most people's eyes are not just like boom. And so our bodies are just not asymmetrical. They're not perfectly matched on each side. But with the scar tissue, it does make this one seem a lot, I don't say a lot, it's a noticeable difference in the size of this one versus this one when I look at it, and I can feel it because like I can feel that scar tissue there, and when I push it over, like I feel it. But it's not painful. It doesn't hurt. Thank God there's no pain involved with it. So there'll definitely probably be some soreness after I have the procedure done, but I will share that with you all. This is the before. I have the capsulotomy. And so they're only going to have to work on this breast. So thankfully it's just going to be this one, and I'm not having to get both of the implants removed and replaced. The implants will still be there. He'll probably clean it out if, you know, anything to take it out and put it back in, but the nipple should be fine, and the areola, and you know, when I had my implants done, they were put under the muscle, so there definitely will be some soreness, and I'll just take it easy that day. But I will be going to work the next day, so you guys pray for me because I'm just really busy and I don't have a whole lot of time to take off of work. But I'm trying to get this done when I can, because now with the numbers rising with COVID cases, I don't know if there are going to be any more shutdowns. So I'm trying to get things like this done that need to be done when I can get it done, and not take the chance of waiting until later and then God forbid I'm not able to get it done until next year. So that's why I'm just trying to get it done, and I'll get it done before my birthday, and hopefully by the time my birthday comes I'll just be back to normal, which is at the end of August. So guys, that's the first part of this video, and if you have any questions about anything that I've already shared before, go ahead and drop those down in the comment section now. I also did want to state for the record that there is something that's being talked about a lot more these days, and it's called breast implant illness. And it's a name that's given because of a variety of symptoms that some people have received and started having not too long after receiving either silicone or saline breast implants. And often the symptoms are allergies, and they include fatigue, aches and pains, muscle weakness, and even brain fog not too long after breast augmentation surgery. I haven't had any of those issues, so I just wanted to state that for the record, just in case anybody had any questions, or in case anyone may leave any comments equating what I have been dealing with to breast implant illness, because capsular contraction or capsule contractions are not the same thing as the thing that's being talked about a lot more these days, which is breast implant illness, which causes a number of other issues. So I just wanted to state that for the record.